Peace and blessings, everyone, and welcome into the I Dance Art House Web3 Metaverse Space, coming live at you Saturday Night Live with ShivaLeela Allen. Let's talk about it 2.0. I am so happy to be your hostess today, and welcome into my Metaverse space and podcast audio. Now, today we have a special topic, and we're going to jump right into it right after we play a little bit of sounds and allow everyone to enter the room respectfully. I hope everyone's been having an awesome day, and I'll hop back in as soon as everyone acquaints themselves with the space. And I'll make sure that everyone has a seat here at the couch so that we can get prepared for today's discussion. Peace and blessings, and welcome back to today's read along with your hostess, ShivaLeela Allen. Today, we are reading the awesome book, Belly Dance Business 101, The Beginner's Guide to Being a Professional Belly Dancer by Helene Blondell. Helene Blondell is an award-winning belly dancer and singer with an extensive performance history on and off air. She has appeared on televised programs as both a vocalist and dancer with almost 2 decades of experience in entertainment. Helene is the founder of the online wellness community Belly Pop. Page 43, Online Presence. Now more than ever, social media and the internet as a whole are a critical tool for the success of any business. Decades ago, customers would head to the yellow pages or word of mouth when they needed a professional service. Now, everything from company information to client reviews is one click away. For this reason, having a strong online presence is incredibly important. The great thing about creating your online presence is that, as useful as it is to yourself and potential clients, it costs very little and sometimes nothing at all to do so. The 2 most powerful ways I was able to transform my online presence and increase my opportunities exponentially was with my website and social media use. Many dancers use one or the other. I've seen dancers with incredible social media but no website, vice versa. However, I've seen the best results when combined both. Website. A good basic website for any performer should include the following: a bio, credentials, quality photos, credential rates, and a contact page. Every dancer has a different story that makes them unique. Your bio or about me section is the perfect place to spotlight this information. When leads access your website, they want to know who you are and your background as a performer. This includes your credentials such as special awards, years of experience, specialities, or anything other accomplishments that set you apart from other dancers in your area. As mentioned earlier, the market for dancers in most metropolitan areas is saturated. Competition is inevitable. If anyone is on your website looking to fill a gig for an event, they are most likely looking at the website of at least 2 other entertainers. Now, more than ever, customers are becoming more aware of their spending and want the most value of their dollar. Use your About Me section as a way to make your skills, as a way to market your skills and why you are the best option to be hired. Were you ever on TV? List that. Do you dance with special props? List all the ones you're familiar with. Did you win a competition? Regardless of how long ago it was, it still counts as an award and should be recognized. If you're just starting out on the professional side of performing, you might not have credentials like this. Make sure to emphasize your passion for dance in your bio. Any other milestones such as the pro dancers you study under or any festival workshops you've attended count too. Good quality photos are imperative to your website. While many potential clients will focus on entertainers' skill bases on their bio, others care more about the visual. Therefore, it's important for your website to reflect the full package. Photos represent one's package, so make sure to have professional shots that reflect your unique brand as a dancer. I currently list starting rates on my website. Contrary, some professional belly dancers do not list their rates on their websites. The school of thought for performers who don't list their prices is that other professionals will see their rates and undercut accordingly. Their rates vary depending on the type of events, location, duration, etc. They do not want to scare off customers with the high rates, so they're rather just get serious inquiries when they can just disclose their rate. I understand these concerns. When one is choosing to go professional, they should select the option ideal for them. You might find it best for you to omit rates from your website as well. However, here are the benefits I found in total transparency of rates on my website. Time of the essence for potential clients. By listing your services and corresponding prices on the website, you take away the guesswork of them having to reach out to you just for a pricing inquiry and their possible embarrassment if they can't afford the rate. You set the expectations so that there's no surprises. Once your rates are for each service and any upcharges for mileage, etc., are live for anyone to see on your website, customers are made aware of all this information before contacting you. If they question your rate or upcharges, you can simply direct them to the services section of your page for reference. Other dancers may use your rates for influence, but this can also be a good thing. It is natural for businesses of any kind to want to see what their competitors are doing. As discussed in the previous chapter, some dancers simply don't know what to charge. When they see other dancers in the community charging within the standard rate of their area, they will be likely to charge the same, which actually prevents what I call accidental undercutting, or charging less because one simply doesn't know their higher running rate. Your contact page is a great gateway to seal the deal for possible gigs. An artist can have an exceptional bio, photo gallery, and rates page, but there is no place to contact you. Clients will get discouraged. Remember, time is of the essence for potential customers, and there are other options. You've worked so hard to make a great website, so make sure your contact info is visible with options too. Most websites hosts will give the option for you to add a contact box requiring the site visitor's name, email, phone number, and inquiry. I also highly recommend leaving links to your social media, business email, and business phone number somewhere on the page as well. This gives your leads several different ways to reach you. Making it more convenient for them, convenience for a prospective client often leads to conversation to an actual customer. Social media. In this day and age, checking social media is a part of almost everyone's daily routine. Therefore, utilizing platforms like Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, and similar sites is a great way to build a fan base and gain exposure to potential clients. Content is key. Make valuable content related to your art, tweaking it to each platform. What works on YouTube, such as a full performance with a description, won't work as well on Instagram, on TikTok, which generally favors shorter videos. Making the time to create content designated for each platform will work wonders and allow you to gain followers rapidly. Use hashtags on Instagram. Use hashtags such as #BellyDance, #BellyDancer, #Oriental Dance, and up to 30 hashtags that you feel are relevant to your post. That, as well as using general locations in your post, will influence the algorithm to suggest your content to people in your area and those with a history of interest in one of your hashtags. This will increase your probability of attracting a relevant following, which could lead to gaining clientele down the line. Consistency is a key. Consistency is a key. From my experience, 4 to 7 posts a week are ideal. However, if that's too much, try to post at least twice a week. The more times you post your content out there for others to see, the more exposure you will have a higher amount of people. In addition to attracting new followers, consistent content will also remind your current fan base of why they followed you in the first place. For those specifically in your area, this is important because the more they see your content, the more likely they will be able to have you in mind when planning an event that requires belly dance entertainment. As previously mentioned, make sure your image is reflected consistently on your social media and posts. It is not only what will draw people in, but it is also what will make you memorable. Page 53, Professionalism. You may have gotten the gig, a decent follower base, and things are looking up for you as a professional entertainer. This is amazing because all of these steps take incredibly hard work. However, the key is to retaining clients is your professionalism. This is true even outside of the entertainment industry. Let's take the food and beverage industry, for example. A restaurant may have memorable commercials, competitive prices, and delicious food, but if the staff is unprofessional, would you go there again? Probably not. Any company that seeks to be in business for a long time must think of their customer retention, which is just as important as gaining new customers. The same holidays occur every 12 months. Remaining each year, the same holiday parties are bound to happen. Being professional and providing quality entertainment to your clients increases a client's chances to booking you the following year to come. This also increases the probability of positive word of mouth, marketing to their friends and family about you. This paired with the first-time clients you receive will lead to way more long-term revenue than if you just had one-time clients alone. Professionalism is such an important step when deciding to make a career in belly dance that I've divided it up into two main parts: communication and action. Professional communication, quick correspondence. The early bird gets the worm, and this is also true for business. Think about it from the client's point of view. Your potential client is stressed because they are planning an event. They probably have a budget they can't exceed, and most likely other factors of the event they are also responsible for. I can't stress enough how much time is of the essence. If a lead contacts you, you can almost be sure they are contacting other belly dancers in your area. The sooner you respond, the higher possibility you have to actually getting booked. If you promise on your website to return inquiries within 72 hours, make sure you follow through. This is also true for direct messages on social media. Respond as soon as you can. Direct communication to phone calls if possible. Emails are great, but in my experience, there's nothing like a one-on-one verbal communication. I also find that one is able to acquire more information in far less time via phone call rather than an email or text message. Instead of spending up to 2 days of back and forth conversations via emails, your lead can get all the questions answered in minutes during one simple phone call. This will also give you the opportunity to inquire what they are looking for, assess whether you are fit for the gig, and not waste more time than needed if you aren't. It's also important to respect privacy as well. If a lead first contacts you by email or text message, it may be wise to not immediately call them. Instead, respond saying you'd love to discuss their inquiry with them over the phone, asking when they'd be available for a phone call. When in doubt, communicate formally. This should go without saying, but the way you handle yourself verbally says a lot about you to your potential customer. Some clients will be quite informal with you, and that's okay. You don't have to speak like a customer service representative at all times, but there is a line that generally shouldn't be crossed. Even if a client uses profanity with you in conversation, assuming you are both laid back and comfortable with this, It is your best interest not to reciprocate those profane words. You are a business and should represent yourself as such. Kindness goes a long way. There will be times that lead or current customers will do or say anything that you don't like. A common example would be like the one mentioned in Chapter 6 with a potential client trying to haggle you down on a price. Your immediate feeling may be that the lead is undervaluing you or disrespecting you by asking a lower price. However, just exemplify in the aforementioned chapter, don't let your personal feelings set the tone for your response. Instead, just handle the conversation with class. If there is even a time where a person is persistent with the matter, even after you respond professionally, you are able to block them. This is a better option than responding in a rude manner, which ultimately just lowers your brand. Professional actions. Be punctual. In the typical 9-to-5 office job, one is expected to show up on time. With the exception of one offense or emergency, there are serious consequences of showing up late to work. Not being on time reflects a lack of discipline and disinterest in your work, reflecting poor professionalism. This principle is no different when it comes to being an entertainer. Customers pay you for your services with expectations that you will show up to the event on time. The standard is to meet the expectation. Of course, there are many situations that could lead to being late, such as an extensive makeup preparation, a costume malfunction, traffic, or getting lost on your way to the location. When preparing for your event, it's important to take all this into consideration when getting ready. If you would normally take an hour to get ready, allow yourself at least 90 minutes to do so. If the GPS says the gig is 30 minutes away, start leaving 45 to 60 minutes ahead of time to leave room for if you get lost or unexpected traffic. Worst case scenario, you will get there early and have nothing to do for a few minutes. Best case scenario, you will have spare time and your reputation by still being punctual to your event. Trust me, being overprepared is much better than being underprepared and running the risk of a client's dissatisfaction in your service. Walk away. I mentioned before that when faced with online harassment, it's better to block them than to further engage with them down the road. However, what if you're faced with hostility in person? The same principle applies to when a current customer, lead, or even fellow dancer is conducting themselves unprofessionally with you. A plethora of situations can occur at events where you are dancing, especially when there is alcohol involved. We are all humans, and things like a rude comment from a patron or a dancer colleague can easily facilitate a confrontational response from you. Remember that conflict is not worth you lowering your brand and reputation. A quote like I live by, or at least try to live by, is, if it won't affect you in 5 years, don't let it bother you for more than 5 minutes. This is otherwise known as the 5x5 rule. In those initial 5 minutes, use that time to walk away from the situation. The main exception is when you feel threatened and or feel like you are in danger. Safety should always be kept in mind. Administrative planning. A big mistake that I made when starting out as a professional belly dancer is that I didn't think of the administrative side that comes with having an organized business. I was using the honor system when dealing with payments and conditions agreed upon for each event. Thankfully, I never had a bad experience as a consequence of not having things in writing. But I've heard horror stories of fellow dancers not getting paid for their work. Even though I haven't faced anything this drastic, not having administrative support to back things up lead to several inconveniences for me. I was in a vulnerable spot, wondering when and how I would be paid, and sometimes not even knowing certain details of my gig expectations because nothing was specifically in writing. Here are 3 administrative ways to protect yourself when booking gigs independently. Require deposits. As entertainers, we don't only sacrifice our weekdays, but also weekends and holidays. Some dancers have second jobs that may pay less in a day than a 30-minute set performing does. We often build our schedules around professions and sometimes have to turn down gigs because we are already booked for another event. A deposit acts as a placeholder on your calendar until the date of the gig. It also guarantees that the client is serious about having you perform. When informed that the deposit becomes non-refundable days or even weeks leading up to the event, they are much less likely to cancel. If they do cancel, at least you can keep their deposit to make up for the other gigs you turned down or any other planning you made to accommodate the event. Use contracts. Of course, if you are dancing with an agency, your firm handles this for you. However, you book gigs independently, a contract is the best way to protect yourself. In this agreement, you can list any expectations you have across the board, such as deposit amount and due date, payment deadlines, etc. I also recommend adding all specific details and special accommodations discussed with the client in the actual contract itself. That way, if the customer does not make the accommodations agreed upon showing up to the gig, or if they refuse to pay you because you didn't meet the expectations, you may refer them to the contract they signed, taking legal action if necessary. Consider performers insurance. A lot of working entertainers do not have liability insurance. However, it is a good idea to think about becoming insured for several reasons. Whether you dance with props or not, there is always a chance of something could happen to you or a guest, even if that chance is small. Performance insurance can protect you against legal claims like guest injury or property damage. Not only that, but once potential customers know that you have liability insurance, you will have a competitive edge over the many performers who do not. Clients often take factors like this into consideration. Page 67. Dancer etiquette. Oriental dance is one of the most misunderstood dance styles out there. Due to this, there are stigmas associated with belly dance that simply aren't true. Over the years of surrounding myself with seasoned professionals and eventually going pro myself, I learned of certain behaviors performers are encouraged and discouraged to partake in as a part of belly dance etiquette. They are the following. Be professional at all times. When in doubt, refer to Chapter 8. Professionalism goes a long way in any situation. Keep your character. Guests look at the belly dancer as more than just dance entertainment. This is the magic behind the whole aura the dancer gives off. Think of the well-known prince and princesses we see at theme parks. They carry themselves a certain way to maintain the magic of the character they are portraying. This is the same concept as the belly dancer. When you show up to a gig, you are in character. Many of the other tips listed here will refer back to this. Use proper cover-ups. At gigs, make sure to cover your costume during breaks and before and after you dance. This could be done with a abaya or kaftan. Veils are generally discouraged. It's important to use cover-ups for multiple reasons. Primarily, your costume is distracting. When you're not performing, exposing yourself in costume will still call attention from Patreons. This could even be found as offensive in certain circumstances. Additionally, being exposed in your costume when you aren't in performance mode takes away from the magic of being in character. The belly dancer is ideally seen as enchanting and mysterious. If everyone sees the dancer in costume munching on snacks in the dining area, there is no more novelty or mystery. Wear shoes. Unless you're performing at a festival or an event with special accommodations made for barefoot dance, wear shoes. This is especially true for restaurants and hookah lounge gigs. There could be tiny pieces of glass on the floor from broken china or even hot coals from a hookah. You never know what you could step on, so wear shoes is an important way to protect yourself. Use appropriate music. As belly dancers, we have a wide variety of cultures we work with. Therefore, it's imperative to ask the client their music preferences before showing up to the gig. In the past, I've had certain clients request only classical Arabic instrumentals, while other clients gave me free rein to select whichever music I felt was best. With songs in a foreign language, always learn the full translation of what you are dancing to. As educated Oriental dance artists, we must be respectful of the cultures we cater to. Accepting tips. How belly dancers should and should not accept tips is still widely debated among the belly dance community. A good number of belly dancers still accept tips in their bras, although this is highly discouraged, while others refuse to accept any tips anywhere on their bodies. From my experience, particularly mistakes early on in my dance career, I found that accepting tips in one's costume, bra, or skirt can possibly come with sexual connotations in the eyes of patrons. In Western countries such as the U.S., many guests are unaware of the culture associated with belly dance. The intention of tipping this way may be innocent, but sometimes it could lead to not so innocent gestures that put the dancers at risk. I, along with many dancers I've studied under, only accept tips in the form of it being handed to me or in the form of money showering. Tipping this way avoids inappropriate touching, both accidental and intentional. It also teaches uninformed patrons how to respectfully tip you. Don't undercut. As mentioned in Chapter 6, it does not only hurt others, but it also hurts yourself in the long run financially. Avoid staying for dinner afterward. In past gigs, I've had situations where the host invited me to eat with the guest after my set. While this gesture is kind and the offer is appreciated, accepting to do so is unprofessional. As a performer, you were booked to do one service, perform. So by staying past your agreed time, you now run the risk of transitioning from the professional entertainer to just another informal guest in the event attendee's eyes. Not only that, but this once again takes away from the magic behind the belly dancer mentioned before. By sitting down to eat with guests, you are no longer the mysterious, enchanting belly dancer. Remember, as an entertainer, you are in character, and breaking it takes away from the performance. It's tough saying no to this common offer, especially when you dance for 30 minutes straight and could use a post-workout meal. However, it is not worth the risk. The best plan of action is to thank them for their courtesy, but you may make other plans and must leave immediately after the gig. Avoid romantic encounters with clients or venue owners. Remember that time when two of your coworkers in the office dated and eventually had major workplace problems because of it? Well, it's the same in the entertainment industry. As a professional belly dancer, performing is your job. It is not leisure. Of course, there are exceptions to every rule. However, mixing business with pleasure can often lead to burned bridges in the long run if the romance ends. Dealing with propositions. It bears repeating that belly dance is misunderstood. Due to the nature of our art, onlookers may apply a sexual connotation to whatever we do. I, along with others I know, have been propositioned for intimate services more than once. It's not uncommon to be offered hundreds or even thousands of dollars for inappropriate acts. If ever encountered with this proposition, it's imperative to be professional when declining. I say when and not if, for a reason. Accepting money for sexual services is prostitution and goes against the standard most Oriental dance artists work hard to uphold. If the proposition is made online, the best plan of action is to ignore the message or block them. When encountering these offers in person, it's recommended to politely inform that you don't do that rather than responding in a rude manner. Even though you may rightfully feel offended, you are still a business and must carry yourself as such. Avoid slander. Avoid talking down about other dancers in your community. Not only does this come off as unprofessional, but if it is innocent or, in your opinion, accurate, it is not a nice thing to do. Supporting other goes a long way, even if it means respecting each other's differences from a distance. Page 77, expand your horizons. Many of us as performance artists become quite comfortable after years of experience. Often, this complacency is to a fault. For a short time, I was in this category. I felt like I knew all I needed to know and was so set in my ways that my dance skills were limited. My style was naturally folkloric, and there were certain techniques and props that I took no interest in learning because I felt like I didn't have to. However, I didn't realize that I was restricting the amount of opportunities for gigs because of this. In the past, clients have selected other dance services over mine because they used certain props that I didn't. This was mind-opening and taught me the importance of humility and consistently improving oneself. Throughout your career as a professional belly dancer, you will learn that it's imperative to consistently expand your horizons. Regardless of whether you've been dancing for a couple of years or a couple of decades, there are several ways to broaden your knowledge as a dancer. Workshops at festivals are a great way to gain insight from world-renowned artists and learn new techniques. If you aim to eventually become a teacher, get certified in one or more group dance fitness programs. Another great way to expand your horizon is by reading about the history of this art form and the cultures surrounding it. Learning other styles of dances are a wonderful way to increase your versatility and also improve your chances of getting booked. Consistent renovation in your craft is not just important because it increases your opportunity, but it also makes you more rounded as an artist. And that is a satisfying feeling. Page 81, conclusion. As you embark on your journey as a professional belly dance entertainer, take into consideration that every performer's career is different. The topics covered in this book are based on my experiences through trial and error and meant to serve as a guide. Although I do encourage every dancer to decide for themselves on what they should do based on their unique circumstances. In this profession, no two gigs are alike, and there are always surprises along the way. Remember that as a working entertainer, you are an artist as well as a business. Be professional, be resilient, and shimmy on. Thank you all for tuning in on another episode live in the metaverse with me, your hostess, ShivaLeela Allen, presenting to you SNL Let's Talk About It 2.0. Please follow me on my social media platforms. Don't forget to join the Patreon. Patreon will allow you to have NFT access to all of the future events held by me, your hostess, ShivaLeela Allen, and the Raw DAO. So click the link in the bio to look at all of the tiers that I provide for you. Don't forget to join the spatial platform. This is the metaverse where we exhilarate culture at iDance Art House Web3. Join the Discord as well at the Raw DAO. Be sure to also join the Wonderverse board. And if you want to be a part of any of these future expos at the Raw DAO, follow my IG at iDance Art House Web3 Follow my IG at idancearthouseweb3. Don't forget to follow the Raw Dow on IG at the_raw_Dow. Also, we have a Facebook. Follow me at ShivaLeela Allen. And we also have a Facebook for the Raw Dow. So follow the Raw Dow on Facebook. TikTok as well. So if you want to follow me on TikTok, is idancearthouseweb3. And we have a TikTok for the Raw Dow. You can also follow the Raw Dow on TikTok. Twitter is available at idancearthweb3. idancearthweb3. Also, we go live like you see here today on Twitch. So be sure to follow the_raw_Dow to catch all of my lives as they stream on multiple platforms at once. Be sure to also follow the YouTube at my personal YouTube for my collection and ShivaLeela Allen. You can follow my YouTube at ShivaLeela Allen. Also, don't forget to follow Raw TV because, again, they will be streaming on all platforms during our weekly events, which is super cool. And don't forget, I have these podcasts available at the end of every Saturday, free, available on my Anchor link. Please click the link in the bio. These will be the free live podcasts that you hear now, available in my link below. Don't forget to have a blessed day and just keep it moving, keep it going, and jam on out because we believe that dancing is healing and we're about NFT healing, culture, and dance. I do not own the rights to the music that you hear in this recording. Thank you.